matchmaking sound.
Is that the Halo matchmaking? I was doing more of like an arcade racing game, like when the the lights are lighting up.
No, do 100% the boop, 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 boop is what Halo does when the match is about to start.
I like that I somehow stumbled into something that I have experienced
Literally
maybe
never
30
played.
minutes of. Halo multiplayer matchmaking.
Fucking toasters.
Which one did I play? 3?
Did it have dual wheels?
That is not a question that I would be able to answer.
Did it have a fucking incredible pistol?
Also not able to answer that. I don't know, because the only Halo game...
Okay. Did it have aliens, or was it all just Master Chiefs?
I was going to say that too, but I didn't want to be a dick.
I think it was all Master Chiefs.
That might have been 4.
I don't think I played 4, because I remember I finished 1, and I finished... Oh, God. I didn't finish 2 or 3. I didn't play 4. I didn't play ODST. I played the other one.
Reach.
Yes, I liked Reach, because it didn't have the fucking flood in it that I remember.
Reach is a fucking good game.
Yeah. And that ending was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't play 5. Guardians? Did that eventually come out with the name Guardians, or was that just like the pre-release
I think
name?
it did. I literally have that installed, and I've never fucking loaded it.
Yeah,
Not once.
I might give Halo Infinite a try, largely because it's on Game Pass, so like it costs me nothing but a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're live. Hello, Internet.
I couldn't, yeah. I know I've played all of them up to this point, but it's been so long I can't separate them now.
Yeah.
Except for 2. I remember 2, you switched to the Archon. I think is what they called them. The Elite.
Arbiter?
Arbiter. There we go. See? It's been so long.
I only remember that because everyone was like, he plays the Arbiter! Blah, 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 blah.
Dude,
okay.
you played Halo this year?
Who?
Like,
who?
You?
Me?
Yes.
I didn't play Halo this year. What Halo did I play this year?
The Master Chief Collection.
You are thinking of somebody else. I've never played the Master Chief Collection.
Because I'm literally looking at your gamer score and achievement history, and you unlocked the Your Journey Begins achievement with 5 gamer score on 12th of February 2020.
Maybe
Who's playing my Xbox?
Yeah. Maybe time to talk to your daughter about M-rated games.
I told you not to play console games.
If it makes you feel any better when it comes to the Halo Master Chief Collection, you literally have one achievement, and it's that one.
Is that the one for switching the view?
No, it's complete campaign mission or match of multiplayer.
Okay, in hell year 2020, because January, February was like 2.5 years ago, I genuinely don't remember that. I don't even know why I would have downloaded that. What was I thinking? Like, oh, I'm going to try and play a Halo game?
Yeah.
I'm smoking rocks over here.
And it was probably Reach that you were talking about, because you've got Reach achievements, you've got Halo 3 achievements.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally, you've played 2 Halo games on your Xbox game.
So I remembered the 2 correctly. Reach was pretty good.
Yeah.
4 is pretty good too.
Yeah, what was the big thing about 4? Was that the one where you had like all the equipment and the powers and stuff, or was that 3?
That was 3 was the one where they started doing the powers like armor lock and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
It was the one where they brought in the Prometheans, essentially.
Okay.
It's when all sci-fi games started emulating each other, so they all kind of seem to be the same game.
Here's the precursor race. It's like,
Yep. Precursor race, the one
older than the oldest one. Sure.
Yeah, the chosen the strike against humanity.
Brain Eater in chat says your kid wanted to finish the fight, Boston. That's right. She was very unhappy about Halo 2's ending, and she had to hop in there and see what it was all about. So good. All right, are you guys ready to start this thing?
Nope.
Yep.
You ready now?
Nope. Nope. Not in the fucking slightest. Were we supposed to be recording all this, by the way? I'm just kidding.
Look, this isn't E3 2009 or whatever one it was where I'd start day drinking.
Now I'm ready. I had to bless the chat with Reptar.
That's right. Rawr. And some Eevee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
And the Nymph.
Hello.
Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Logo is blocking the chat. Thank you very much, Moonpeer. I'm going to put it over your face. LOL. Patreon.com/E1M1. Get all the behind the scenes, early access, super cool stuff. You get now hundreds of episodes of audio available for you. I think I just uploaded the 111th episode of We Rogue Like It. So if you want to listen to a metric ton of, at the very least, that show, and much more, including 2-month early access to Critical Misses, you can go check that over there. Get all that good episode audio for yourself. Help me pay for the show. And then everybody wins when we hit that $250 a month mark, and I start playing some scary games, which is not looking forward to it. So if you want to punish me for almost 13 years of podcasting, patreon.com/E1M1. On that,
Boston.
that's right. I star in MGS5. You can call me Punished Boston. Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Okay, so we're going to start with the hot shot first and foremost. No joke intended there.
Sure.
We're going to talk about Apex Legends. Specifically, new season, new rules, old weapons. So they have rotated the weapons. So certain overpowered weapons are now supply crate only weapons. Old supply crate only weapons, which are the things that drop from the sky.
Mm-hmm.
They've been rotated back to the being able to pick up on the floor. Except they've been buffed down a little bit. Debuffed is the word I was looking for there. So they're not as powerful. And the R99 is now a drop only from the sky weapon. So I'm fine with that because the R99 sucks.
Okay.
When I say it sucks, I mean it's actually really fantastic, but I'm terrible at it, so therefore it sucks. You know,
Right.
Internet logic.
Right.
So they've redone the map again, the secondary map. They added a new rocket ship that's about to take off. They added fortified walls where you press a button and then this big wall comes up and blocks people off from going into areas.
Nice.
There is a whole bunch of changes happened, and now you can craft.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. So now every time you open a chest, you get 5 crafting materials, and there's these little tanks that when you collect them, they give you crafting materials too. And then there's these little crafting stations that you go press X, you go beep boop 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 boop. It gives you a menu, and you craft some stuff.
Okay.
Like ammo for your currently selected weapons, or here is the items that are only available in crafting containers.
Brain Eater in chat says, "Oh no, my weakness." That's right.
So for example, one day might have the wingman is not available on the ground. It only appears in crafting materials or crafting stations.
Okay,
So
cool.
if you want the wingman, you have to craft it. But they'll usually give you 1 or 2 attachments related to it that are also craft only. So when the wingman was craft only, it was the skull piercer, which does improved headshot damage, and the purple extended heavy mag, the largest one, were also craft only. So
Interesting.
It gets weirder because you can also every shield is now an Evo shield. So Evo shields are shields which previously, if you pick it up, it's a level 1 shield. Instead of having 2 pips of shield, it has 1. When you do damage, you increase the level of that shield. So then it becomes a blue shield, which has got 3 pips of shield. Then you do more damage, it becomes purple. And you do more damage, it becomes red and gives you like 6 pips of shield.
That's bad for players like me, but that sounds cool.
Really bad for players like you and like me who like to fly as far away from the path of the plane as possible.
Right.
and then work your way into the middle, get yourself geared up, and die without firing a shot or doing any damage.
Yep, that sounds right.
It's the way I play.
Rinse, repeat.
Yes. Now, every shield is an Evo shield. You start with a 0 value Evo shield too. So even if you are straight in the hotness, you can get in damage, get a shield without having to pick one up. It just pops that level 1 shield thing.
That's kind of cool.
And then the more damage you do, the more your shields improve. On the crafting terminals, you can spend crafting material to put a bunch of damage towards your shield. So you can level up your shield without having to actually be in combat.
Because my concern as someone who doesn't play Apex is it sounded a lot like the rich are getting richer with Evo shields, where it's like if you're good at the game, you get an added bonus of being able to go further because you're getting more defensive options for doing damage. But having that as crafting, where it's like, look, if you're... I play very similar to you are, where it's like, I see a lot of people going to the left. I'm going to fly for about 30 more seconds and go to the right.
Yes.
I like that there's another option there for like, I'm gonna gear up a little bit more and then wait for someone to snipe me from about 4,000 meters away.
Yeah. I mean, I avoid hot drops like they are diseases because whenever it happens to me, I always have a habit of being pinched. Where it's like, there's a team fighting. There's a team, and we're gonna attack them. And look, there's a team behind me, and we're in the middle, and both teams are just gonna kill me and then kill each other.
Right.
Or there's 2 teams fighting each other. We're gonna third party them and just get in there and wipe one out, and then clean up the other one. And both teams stop fighting each other and then fight my team.
Yep.
Like that's
the stuff.
The way that this goes.
Yep.
Like it's. Third party never works out pretty well for me. Unless it's the last 3, in which case, as soon as you see 2 teams left, you go and you crunch whoever's left because you want that championship, and there's nobody else to pinch you.
Right.
So that was the funny thing about Call of Duty with their Warzone, was that you would see people fighting in the distance, like 2 groups fighting, and then one side would win, and you would see them start to pick up the items of the other one, and then you would just see sniper fire start hailing down on that other team.
Yeah, it's much like camping. To third party them is a legitimate strategy.
Yeah,
because they're weakened. It's like easy pickings for the vultures around the map.
That's right.
But I mean, it's so far I like the changes. The Vault is now in the game from Titanfall. The Energy SMG gun is now in, so they've just added a new gun and a new hero.
She looks really cool.
Sorry, a new legend.
That's right.
Called Rampart, who is a British Indian lady.
Cool.
Which is hilarious because she speaks with a little bit of an Indian accent, a little bit of a British accent, and uses idioms from both sides of the culture.
That's great.
It's really great. They also introduced holo tags, which is a little thing that you plop on the floor and it pops out with a little hologram taunt thing. Like Costa, who's the poison gas dude. One of his is "Come be a part of my experiment," and it's just him surrounded in gas.
That's great.
Okay. I think the one I got for Rampart says that's tit for tat, mate, on it.
Great.
And Rampart's skills are passive. She is good with LMGs. Faster reload time, faster firing, faster spin up, faster everything with LMGs. I like LMGs. They are my favorite gun. This character is British Indian. I'm British English. So
British.
Yes. It seems like this is my gal. Her active ability is she pops down cover, which is like pops down like a shield, and then an energy shield comes up the top of it. If you shoot through it one way, it does improve damage. So it does more damage when you shoot through it one way.
Just stealing stuff from Destiny 2. How dare they?
And her ultimate is a Gatling gun that she calls Sheila.
This is really great. I should play Apex again.
She is genuinely really fun to play with. I may or may not have issues with how much they've buffed the Hemlock, but we won't go into specific weapons gripes just yet. But I like LMGs. It's always been my go-to. It's like, if you've got an LMG, you give it to me because I want it, because I nom 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 on those LMGs every day.
And now you're even better with them.
Now I have a character I can quote unquote main as, because so far I haven't mained as anybody because I feel like I'm equally as useless with them all.
That's the attitude.
I can't help it. Like Caustic I'm okay with, but I'm terrible with everybody. But now it feels like there's someone like I can actually potentially do really, really well with.
Right.
So it's interesting, to say the least.
What season number is this?
This is season 6.
Okay.
And my favorite thing, of course, is the puns are back.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
So obviously, I've only got one here because I don't want to sit here and go through every single pun that exists in the game because there's too many, to be honest. Oh, speaking of which, the lore story that came up last season.
Yeah.
That ended really well, and with this season, they have changed voice interactions with the characters based on the events that happened in that story.
Oh, that's cool.
So Watson, who is a nice guy scientist lady, and Caustic, who is a not nice guy scientist dude, they had this we're both scientists happy-go-lucky relationship. So if Caustic was down and Watson was the character picking him up, Watson would pick him up and be like, "I can't let you die, Mr. Caustic or Dr. Caustic. We have to get going."
Right.
And with other stuff, really like good pieces of thing. Now, when she picks up Caustic, because a friend of ours, M, she mains as Watson. Whenever I play Caustic and she has to pick me up, she just goes, "Mr. Caustic," and then walks away.
That's great.
They have tweaked all of the voice lines based on what the story reasoning for it is.
That's really good. Are they continuing that story here in the new season?
There is a new story with new different way of doing it. Now you get comic book pages because Rampart is a giant child, apparently.
Okay, that's cool.
She chews gum all of the time, like her idle animations, everything is just her going nom 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 and blowing a bubble and then go pop and then go nom 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 nom.
That's great.
It's like, okay, cool. Like Rampart is 100% my jam. But the fact that they've updated so much stuff based on previous things it's really good, and Apex continues to be a solid game.
Yeah.
I played a little bit, a little bit of Grounded.
Oh, okay.
We jumped into that earlier today. Yo, that game is hard on medium difficulty.
Yeah.
Especially with no tutorial. It's Game Pass and it's pre-release, so whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll have a tutorial.
The tutorial is very much like, here are the buttons to jump and like slash stuff. Go check out this thing, and they like start giving you missions, and that's about it.
Yes, pretty much. So I like the look of it. I think the art style is fantastic. Looking up and then seeing the weird giant laser beam that's probably only about 2 feet tall is it's really good. The sense of scale is fantastic. Get thee away from me, Spiddly Diddlies, number 1. Like, oh boy, you can stay away from me with spiders, man, because they are realistic.
Yeah, and like just big enough to be like a real threat.
Yes. And aggressive enough. Like, the ants are fine as long as you don't attack them. Which, little side note here, thank you, wife, for attacking an ant while a herd of ants were around, and then all of a sudden our base is under a swarm of attacks by ants.
I wonder why all these ants are angry. Weird.
Instigated by somebody who doesn't like ants.
Right.
But all of a sudden they're literally destroying our base. Like, chewing apart like the things we've built because they're ants, and the things we've built are made of grass.
There you go.
So yeah,
ants doing what ants do.
Yes, exactly. But no, like the spiders are genuinely terrifying. I ran across a wolf spider, which seems to be bigger than the regular spiders.
Did you go through the accessibility options for the spiders and turn?
I did not. I'm going to leave them on.
You need to go check it, because essentially you need to see what the lowest level of spider looks, because basically how it works is like there's a warning where it's like, look, if you have arachnophobia, this is the slider for spiders. Hit the button to see a spider, essentially. And it shows the spider with the legs and thorax and all that gross parts. And then like it has like 10 clicks where it's like one click is like, no, it has less legs. And here's next click is like, well, it doesn't have the butt part. And you need to go in and you need to see what the one all the way to the right is, like the most friendly looking spider you could potentially see. I will leave that as a fun little piece of homework for you to go see, because you're gonna laugh.
Okay.
It's
Is it
really
just a
good.
floating clown face or something? You don't
No.
like spiders? Here's a clown.
That might not be as good, but it's pretty good.
Okay. I will have to give that a shot. But honestly, the game I liked when I played. Like I only played a little bit, but I liked it. I wasn't a fan of how non-descriptive it was, but
Yeah.
in general, I feel like it plays good. It runs shockingly well, considering it's basically a pre-release game.
It ran
So-
very well on my PC because I didn't play it on my Xbox.
Shocker, you don't play anything on your Xbox because it's hot garbage now.
I don't because my PC is okay
Yes.
and my Xbox is sick.
You know, it's fun. I don't know how much more I'll play of it before release. Depends, because I
Yeah.
actually played this with my wife and Em, and we jumped in. It was hilarious because a spider snuck up on Em and she didn't see it. She just heard it. And
Whoa.
there were screams and oh no 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 no.
Light crying.
Yes.
Yeah.
And soldier ants attacking us because why not?
But at least you know now that the framework interests you. You know, like
Yeah.
they have to finish the whole thing, but like you know that this genre and this specific game is interesting to you and your group that you usually play with.
Yeah, and stuff like that as well. Like I'm all for survival games or games that are a grind, if you will.
Right.
It's not like I don't play Warframe and Elite Dangerous and Space
Right.
Engineers and all of these other games, which are like play the game for 600 hours, get an achievement. It's like no
Right.
problem.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I can do that.
Yeah.
It feels good. I'll look forward to seeing what the achievements are, seeing if there's anything I'm going to miss. Just in general playing, I think I've mentioned before, I like achievements when they point me in a way that I haven't been
Right.
playing.
And this game preview doesn't have any achievements, right?
It does not, which is
Okay.
slightly annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, Grounded seems to be okay. Oh boy. So
Real quick, Brain Eater in chat says more content for Grounded is coming on the 26th of this month. So this week apparently there'll be a big patch coming out.
That's good.
Good.
I wonder if it'll be the release patch. It won't be. I know it won't be.
That would be great. Where it's like, yeah, just kidding, it's done. 1.0.
Here's the achievements. Thanks,
Right.
mate. Now I'll play it.
Ready to go.
Not my final game, but we'll get into that in Boston's section because
Yes.
he's taken over this whole thing. There was a judgment and verdict by High Lord Boston before the show where he decided nobody must talk about this game. It is my game to talk about. No.
I like that Moon is selling this as we didn't have a totally civil conversation about a game we have been playing together. Also, I like my new title though. I'm going to put that in the show notes.
High Lord Boston.
Yes.
Mm.
His Holiness Almighty. Whatever else you want to put in there. 5-star rated.
No, that's Rob Van Dam. There's a wrestling reference that nobody will get.
Hey,
except for Rob. Thank you for laughing at that, Rob.
there you go.
My final, non-final game this week is a Plague Tale Innocence because 2020 isn't depressing enough.
Yeah.
And also, it's, 45 gigs and a single-player game.
Mm-hmm.
And I need my hard drive space back.
Thanks, Grounded.
Thanks, Grounded. Thanks, some other game. And thanks 5 other Game Pass games I installed on Friday, because
That's
why
right.
not?
Hey, if Microsoft would stop putting out those images where it's like, here's what's coming out this week on console and PC, and I'm just like, all right, fire up the app, install 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I want all those. Okay, just put them on my PC. Let's go.
I'll actually talk about this. The other game that we're going to talk about later. The whole reason I installed that game is because I got a phone notification from my Game Pass app installed on my phone.
Yeah.
That said, new games this week. And I got this on Friday. I wish I would have got it sooner because I would have installed them sooner. I think it's Tuesday was when they were all available based on based on your hour time.
Based on my playtime, yeah.
But it was like emoji game, emoji game, emoji game.
That's right,
emoji was the game. It was trying to describe the game. And Spiritfarer had a little boat next to it. And I was like, cool, a little boat. And then this other game had like an airplane next to it. It was like Microsoft Flight Simulator had a little airplane. And something else had like like I think it was like a gun next to it. It's like, I don't want that right now, but give me this little plane and this little boat, and let me check these things out.
Planes and boats are great.
And there was a frog one as well.
Oh yeah, because I haven't played Battletoads yet.
I have it installed. I haven't launched it yet.
I have also installed it and not launched it yet.
Yes,
I'm trying to find when I'm in the right mood.
Dude. But do you have the latest Battletoads?
Swear to God. Anywho,
bringing back internet references from 10 years ago. That's what I'm doing today, apparently.
Yep.
But no, Plague Tale Innocence. This is a game that smashed basically into the mainstream last year. Like suddenly everybody was talking about this game as soon as it came out. Nobody cared about it before it came out.
Right.
But suddenly everybody was talking about it when it came out.
A lot like Vampire, where it was like, what is this new game? And everyone's like, play Vampire! Yeah! This is just so cool! Little slurp.
Oh, dude, that was us. Everybody else said, don't play Vampire.
Everyone else is like, what's this thing?
So, I don't know if Plague Tale would have cracked my top 10. I just don't at this point.
Last year was
unlike Game Club, where I can officially say, if I would have played Obsidian last year, Obsidian would have cracked my top 10.
Right. Thank goodness we have a category for that.
Yes. I can't say that about Plague Tale just yet, because I'm only like 5 or 6 hours into the game, which is apparently a 26-hour game, by the way.
Okay.
But I think I've figured out why this game took off the way it did. And it can be distilled down to 2 simple words.
Okay.
Zero hype.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because if Cyberpunk 2077 comes out this year and is literally not paying you gold bars for playing the game, and I'm not talking about fake gold bars, I mean real life gold bars.
Yeah, they're shipping you gold bars to your house.
Everyone's a millionaire now, congratulations.
Right.
If Cyberpunk is not doing that, then that game will have failed on its own hype.
Right. That's correct.
Everybody is ready to just get on their knees in front of that game and get ready for the servicing. Like,
right. The praying, you mean, right?
Yes. 100% ready. That's what I mean when I said the service, the religious service.
Yeah, mass, church, whatever you want to call it.
The body of Keanu. This is the blood of Keanu.
Right.
This is the music of Keanu. Anyway, Plague Tale came out with nobody talking about it, with no real press push, nothing like that.
Yeah, no pre-release coverage, nothing.
Nothing. But guess what? It's voice acted well. It plays well. It's a relatively unique idea. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And it hasn't crashed or broken on me once. So it is a fully functional game that exceeds average expectations that nobody was talking about beforehand. So therefore, in the world of Our Lord 2019 and the world of our Dark Lord 2020, this game goes from pretty good, above average, to absolutely amazing because nobody's talked about it beforehand.
Hidden gem of the year.
Like, it's genuinely a solid game. I'm not going to say it's groundbreaking right now because, like I said, I'm only like 5 or 6 hours in. I think the rats look hilarious and terrifying at the same time. But if you don't know, this Plague Tale is a plague of rats. Specifically a plague of rats that cover the floor and squeak and go and crawl all over each other.
Right.
On one side, it looks horrifying because it's a bunch of rats with red eyes staring at you, trying to nom on your flesh. On the flip side, it's a bunch of CG rats all rolling over each other like a ball, and it looks hilarious in certain cases.
Right. It's like sort of technically impressive too.
Yes, it's both at the same time. It's it's the two-faced coin landing straight on its side and not being able to pick a winner kind of thing.
Right.
It's a good game so far. The fact that it's a stealth-based, it kind of looks like it plays a little bit like The Last of Us, for example, where it's very stealth-based, and here is a puzzle to get through this area, except maybe without as much horrific violence in it.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying there's not horrific violence. I may or may not have shot a torch that made a guy drop his lamp in a field full of rats, and the rats may or may not have digested him instantaneously.
Right. You've done things.
We've all done things.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Right.
We've all done things.
I haven't done those things though.
Right.
True.
2020 is not over. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. But it's a solid game so far. Like, I'm interested in the story. I'm invested in the characters. I met a couple of new characters who seem pretty cool. One's an alchemist, and it's like, cool, let's get into alchemy in 14th century France. Why not?
Yeah.
And it's a solid little game so far. So I'm going to keep plugging away at it, keep trying to avoid the rats, and then we'll see how the story wraps up probably in about 4 weeks when I finally get around to finishing it.
All right. Slow but sure. Slow but steady.
Dude, some of the it's got a hell of a loading time on it, but honestly, I think it's because it's a HDR Xbox One X enhanced kind of game. So
okay, sure.
They have to show me the light shining through the trees in the fields of France with the castle on the right and the waterfall in the middle and everything else that's going on.
They have a graphics quota. It's like you have to see a total of,
Yes. If this had ray tracing, I think it would look phenomenal.
Yep.
But right now, it just looks really good.
Right.
And honestly, the voice acting for a bunch of kids, because they sound like kids, obviously you can get people who do voice acting who don't sound like kids. Go check out the cast of The Simpsons if you want to look down that weird rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
But the little boy specifically sounds like a little boy. And it's a solid job so far, like emotional in the right places, terrified in the right places, a whole bunch of whispering because it's a stealth game. So it's like, don't make any noise. Okay. Well, except in French accents.
Right.
Right. So it's a pretty solid game so far. And honestly, I'm looking forward to that and the other game that we'll talk about in a short
At the
while.
end. Yep. Yes. Yeah. Nice single player games.
Yeah. Honestly, I like Apex. I had sat in a party while playing the Forbidden game with Rob and T the other day and just chatted for a while while playing the games. Rob was desperate to talk about stuff while not spoiling anything because he was talking his way around subjects a lot.
Right.
It's a fun game. It's maybe not the best content, but right now it's an enjoyable experience to think, oh, look, these people have got it worse than me. They're getting ate by rats.
Right. It's like watching the Hoarders TV show. Well, my place isn't so bad.
I'm bad, but I'm not that bad.
Yeah, I'm not on Hoarders bad.
Yeah, but it's a slippery slope to go from justifying that to being that. I'm just
yeah.
That's all I've been playing. Mr. Nimp, tell me about your Japanese games with 17 words in the title.
They're actually not that bad this week.
Hey.
Yeah, there's only one. But anyway. Ghost of Tsushima. I went back through and platinumed that game.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. The last, I keep wanting to say achievements, they're trophies, because my son says achievements for everything.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're all the same.
Trophies. They're achievements.
They're whatever they are.
Yeah.
They're the little participation awards that I get that nobody cares about.
Yeah. I call them both things all the time.
Yeah, I don't even care about them.
Yeah.
But I only had like a couple of them, like, get all the shrines, finish all the bamboo slicing things, all that stuff. And the last I did it again. The last thing I had to get was you had to dress up as a master thief in the game. And if you know Sucker Punch's catalog, you kind of know what you're looking for.
Right.
I had to look up a guide to figure out, because there's specific there's 2 specific items you have to have. One of them I already had through doing a side quest. The other one you have to find, and then there's a certain color swatch that you need to get for 2 of the items. And it was cool, and I got that, and then I got a nice little message in game after I got the platinum that said, hey, you've prepared whatever for the island and the fight. Good job, blah blah blah. Like,
That's
all
nice.
Right, cool.
I like that.
So, yeah. So I completely finished the game until this new update comes out for it, whenever that happens.
I was just going to mention that. Yeah, the hot new big piece of DLC, everything, the one that everyone's been asking for, the multiplayer update. Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry.
Which I was saying in Discord, I'm of 2 minds of it. Where first I'm like, this doesn't really go with the flow of the game, so I'm not really looking forward to it. But on the other hand, it does seem kind of interesting, so
yeah, it could
we'll see
be cool
when it comes out. Yeah,
we'll
check it out. I'll see it, I'll play it, and then I'll let you guys know if I like it or not.
I like it.
Yeah. Next game that I played, one of my big 17 Japanese things, Dark Rose Valkyrie.
Okay. This
is a JRPG made by Compile Heart. I forgot what year it came out, but I bought this like 4 or 5 years ago because it was, I don't know, $10 on PSN. It is anime as all get out. And basically the story is so far, because I'm only like 5 hours into this game.
It came out in 2016.
Really? I thought it came out a lot later than that.
Or might be a lot earlier. It might be 2018 or 2016 West Coast.
Well, there was also, I know that they released it on Steam at some point, so that might be the Steam release date. But I don't know. Either way, it came out a while ago, and it was just something I picked up because it was dirt cheap on PlayStation. But the story goes that you are a new captain in charge of this squad, and the squad is specifically meant to fight this thing called the Chimera virus, which turns people into monsters.
Sure. Checking a lot of boxes here.
Yes. And well, and hang on, because it gets better. You are in a military squad who is a part of this military group called Acid. And your squad is named the Valkyrie Squad.
Hey! It's Chad.
I don't know when Dark Rose comes in. That hasn't come up yet.
Right.
So I Googled the name of this game to figure out when the release date was, right? And literally it's just got a whole bunch of Compile Heart games as like a related search. These all look JRPG as all kinds of JRPG.
Because they are.
They have this like real thin slice of the market where it's like, look, if you want an anime JRPG, that's all we make, and they're super anime.
Which I get, and it's somewhat brain eater. No, they are not military teenagers.
Maybe not yet. Are they piloting Avas?
No, not yet. That might still happen too. Compile Heart kind of makes one type of game, and they've pretty much been using the same battle system since they came out with the Neptunia series.
Yeah.
I don't know, at the start of the PS4. Or no, actually, the first game came out on the PS3.
Okay,
the first Neptunia game, yeah.
Yep.
So it's kind of been the exact same system where they'll just change little bits of it. I know Fairy Fencer F, which was one that I really liked. It's pretty much the same system, just a different story, which is fine. One of my favorite
pretty good deal for them.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm at a part right now where I'm looking for this person. Somehow they're related to one of the people on your team, and that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Check.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah. There's nothing that separates this isn't going to be a top 10 game at all.
No, because when you find that person's relative, they've already been infected by the Chimera virus. Like it's just going to be check, and it'll be good and it'll be fun, but it's definitely not one of those top. It's one of those like, it was like 13th on my list.
It's mostly the fact that once I beat Ghost of Tsushima, I didn't really have another game lined up that I wanted to just jump into. So I've kind of just been hopping between different things, and I've had this on my hard drive forever. So let's check it out and see what this is. It's like, okay, this seems like a game that I can just turn on and then just hit auto read and then just stare at a screen for a while and hey, let's go kill something, and yeah.
Right.
So I'll see what happens. Maybe it's not. It's not grabbing me right now, but it's not. I'm just not really in the mood for a whole lot right now. So it could be fun. Who knows? Ringing endorsement from me.
That's right.
Next game after I bounced off of Dark Rose was Horizon Zero Dawn.
I used to play this game at some point.
I'm still. Let's see. I believe I looked up a guide on this. I believe I'm finally on the last third of the story.
Okay.
The main story. I just did the Machine Graveyard, if that means anything to anyone.
Yep.
Where they kind of open up a lot more towards, hey, this is kind of what happened pre-civilization. You know?
They're like, they finally getting into like, here's what actually happened before the game started.
And you start to find out that Zero Dawn is actually a thing and not just a title screen. And
right. Yeah, when they start throwing that term around, I'm like, oh, thank God, it means something. Okay.
So I'm at the end of the graveyard. You have to fight this, I think they call it a devil machine, where it's this giant looking Metal Gear Rex thing that you're having to fight. But the problem that I keep running into is that you start off on this platform that's like 20 stories up in the air, and this thing will start shooting missiles at you if you attack anything.
Yep. And
then the catwalk that you're on will start to break apart. And if you're on one of those things, as it breaks apart and you fall down, you just die.
Yep. That part was really fun on the hardest difficulty.
I can imagine, because I'm on normal and it's not great. So.
Yeah, that was probably the hardest fight in the game on the hardest difficulty.
Well, and there's only one way you can go on the catwalk, so I'm assuming the way for me to get down is in that direction. So I started running in that direction, and then I came across this thing that looked like a ladder, so I tried to jump on it. Apparently it's not a ladder, it's just what the wall looks like. Right. So then I fell from that, and then I tried a third time, and it blew up what I was standing on, but I happened to be standing over a support pillar, so I landed on the support pillar, which was kind of giving me cover from the devil machine, so I could snipe off all the cultists that were in the area. Right. But then the devil machine blew me up, which knocked me down, which killed me again. And that's where I'm at with this game.
It's a fun fight.
Whatever. The story's cool so far.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing too. So the crafting. For the fast travel, you have to craft these, I think they call them travel packs or whatever, so that you can fast travel in between each of the fire places on the map. You can unlock an unlimited travel pack, which requires you to kill foxes to get a fox skin. And I'm coming off like,
what is with you and foxes?
That's what I'm saying. I'm coming off a game where I was petting foxes, and now I have to kill foxes.
They're my friends.
And the issue is that the fox skin that I need is considered a rare drop, apparently, from them. So you have to kill a bunch of foxes to finally get the skin to make this infinite travel pack.
That's right.
And I think I'm just going to stick with needing individual travel packs.
Feels bad, man.
Well, and they're really hard to find, too. I've only come across like 2 of them.
Yeah, so, I remember having a hard time with that one.
Yeah, but it's interesting. That's all I got to say about it. I'm stuck on a boss fight. Nothing new.
Yeah, right.
The last game that I've been playing, because I was still jumping around, was East Celceta.
Oh, right.
Which I kind of spent way too much time on this game. I started. I've already played this and beaten it on the Vita. It doesn't have a new set of trophies for it. It's still the same set from the Vita. So everything that I've unlocked so far is still unlocked, and I can continue to unlock, the ones that I haven't gotten yet. But the save file doesn't seem to transfer. It doesn't look like I can transfer my save file from the Vita to the PS4, so I have to start again.
Bummer.
Before the days of transferring.
That's right.
But I'm fine with that, because I like playing East games.
Yeah.
Considering that I put about 15 hours into it this week.
Oh, jeez.
So this is, I believe Celceta was the one that started it, where the story behind it is that Adel goes into this great forest and then comes back out, and he doesn't remember anything that happened to that forest. So you then become tasked with mapping that forest by the local government, and they will pay you once you've hit certain milestones. They'll give you rewards and stuff for that.
Okay.
But they want you to go back because you're the only person who's ever gone in there and come back out.
Ah, right.
All right, cool. So you
Is this an
also
analogy for video game development? Because these sound an awful lot like producer meetings. Like, we need the game to be in Alpha 1.0 by this date for the meeting with the people who pay us.
Right.
well, so once the story gets to that point where you're going to start mapping this forest, you get a map that's blank, obviously, and you also get your party member Doji, who decides to come along with you because he's in it for the money, which is great because he's a great character.
Right.
But so every time you go into a new area, it's completely black, and as you run around, it will start to fill out. And you've got two different versions of the map that you can see. One's a hand-drawn map that you can check out, and the other one is just your regular video game. Hey, this is a blue area because that's water, and here's the red bar up here that lets you know this is an exit point and an entrance point and all this crap.
Okay.
And you have a little percentage bar that fills up as
Yeah.
you run around the map area, clearing it out. So I've already hit the 2 milestones for clearing out the first 2 areas of the map, and I am just crafting a bunch of crap and just killing everything, and that's about it. That's all this game is really for.
But it's fun.
It is. I forgot too that they got real heavy into the rock paper scissors portion of this. For like hard enemies, you have to have Doji to use, because if you use Adel's sword, you're not doing as much damage, so you need someone to use force, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So it's real easy to switch, because all you have to do is you just press circle, and then you just automatically switch to the other character, and then you can just start attacking. Everyone has their own attacks. You can level up everyone's attacks. You can craft and level up your weapons. You can craft and level up your armor. And you're just filling out this map.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
That's all I really needed. But not a whole lot. I haven't gotten far enough for the story's really kicked in so far. It's just, you're just going back and exploring this so that you can get money.
Right.
I think I've got like 3 more areas to map out before I start getting back to where the story just starts kicking in, and then you start figuring out what's happening. So that's it. That's been my boring week. I got to play more, but I didn't really have a whole lot to really talk about with what I was playing.
Hey, sometimes you scratch a game, sometimes you itch it. You know?
That's right. That's right. That's right. All right. I'm going to close the loop here on Game of Thrones Tale of Crows. Been playing this for the last couple weeks since it...
This will refresh us, like, this is the mobile game.
Yeah, the mobile game, the Idle one, published by Devolver. I'm done with this, largely because it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. So I've been playing it like a couple of times a day for the last couple of weeks, ever since it came out. And nothing seems to be happening. Like, the thing with these games, you know, when you look at stuff like in the extreme, like Cookie Clicker, is also an idle game. But with these games, you're supposed to be building on something as the game is, you know, they're trying to tell you it's running in the background. None of them do that. It just, you know, oh, this much time passed, so you got this much stuff. But as I'm sending people out on missions, and as people are coming back, and I'm communicating around my castle and everything, literally nothing seems to be happening. I'm making these story decisions, but they don't build to anything. They're just like, these same missions keep happening. So if there's no goal, I don't know why I would keep playing this game. So I'm done.
The goal is to prepare for when the White Walkers arrive, and therefore you have to build the best defenses you can build.
And that would be okay if that was communicated. If that was like, we're making so much progress, or we're doing X things to get to the next step, or something like that. But there's none of that is communicated to me, so I've uninstalled it and I'm done, which is a bummer.
In the lore of Game of Thrones, they don't know when the White Walkers will arrive. So
And that-
therefore, it's a constant struggle, day by day, to improve the
boy.
castle and not get stabbed by your fellow brothers of the Night Watch.
Game of Thrones, man. Yeah.
Sounds like work.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if you got like randomly rated like once a
Sure.
week or something like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I really wasn't as prepared as I thought I was, or
even if
you
I
know.
had another leader die because I made the wrong set of decisions, but like I'm making all these decisions with like 3 raiding groups within the castle itself, some people that are communicating from elsewhere. Like I'm making all of these decisions constantly and they don't do anything. So like that's the really frustrating part. So
It should have gone full on Oregon Trail, and just all of a sudden everyone has dysentery, and
sure, that would fit.
and you're
yeah.
being
Show.
raided,
Everybody
and
have dysentery in that show, let me tell you.
Yeah. I did finish Fast and Furious Crossroads.
So,
I had about like 4 more hours left in that game. I wrote a bunch of notes here.
Okay.
I was
they
not
all start with
expecting
#family.
of always #family for life. I didn't expect Peter Stormare to show up. He just shows up and starts chewing that scenery. He was pretty good. Very much the Bond / Fast and Furious villain of like, I'm gonna level the US's playing field in the world, in the grand scheme of the world. And it's like, okay, how are you gonna do that? This rocket. It's like, okay, sure. All right, cool.
Technically, it was the rocket to fire a satellite, which was a Nightshade 2.0, which is a reference back to Fast 5 and Fast 6.
Yes.
Anyway, moving on.
Tunnel sequence.
Uh-huh. I warned you.
Literally, you said it. Literally, the tunnel sequence from Fast and the Furious, the 4th movie. It's just, I don't. Why would
Did it boggle your mind as well?
It boggled my mind, and then it was so long. It was like you could have made that 30 seconds and be like, yeah, that was dope. Like I shot out of this mountain. That was super cool. Nope, we're gonna be doing that for like 5 or 6 minutes of just racing straight down this tunnel that reminds me of the worst part of the Fast Saga.
And you don't even get to drive up the wall.
Nope.
Oh,
you can't turn. You can't
turn.
steer.
Nope.
It's
literally a straight line.
Yeah.
No voice acting. Not a lot of music. And then Letty goes, "Is that sunlight? Thank God." And then you're out.
Please don't be a mirage. Please don't be a mirage.
Please don't be a mirage.
Why do I remember the stupidest stuff, but I can't remember how old I am?
Because she calls a hole in the side of a mountain a mirage. Like this is the same thing after you drive the slowest delivery truck up this mountain for, swear to God, half an hour. Like weaving
the other delivery truck
to grab another delivery truck. And like it's so crazy because like your character says like, "Oh, thank God, we're almost there." And on the like dot on the map it says 2,500. I'm not anywhere close to where you're going because we're driving at 5 miles an hour up this mountain while there's like landslides after every turn. And if you hit a landslide, then the suspicion meter fills up.
And your damage goes down by a huge chunk.
Yeah, not great. You did get to drive down the side of a mountain. They said it was an avalanche. I don't know if that's technically right, because when I always think of avalanches, I always think of snow coming down a mountain. This was rocks falling behind you, which maybe, but that's not exactly what I think of. I have to give this game some credit.
It's
give it
to a rock slide, just so you know.
Thank you. That would make more sense. But everyone's just like, I just outran an avalanche. It's like,
Do you think they messed up the setting? Like they were going to be like, let's do this in a snowy area,
right? And then they're like, this is in Morocco. It's like, oh, okay, sure. I do have to give this game a lot of credit for just being a racing game, because there's a number of times where they're like, oh, get this person on this train so they can shut this thing down and then we'll get them back. I have to give the game a lot of credit for not having a platforming section all of a sudden, or a third-person shooting section, or a QTE section where we're disarming this bomb. It's like, no, you're in your car, someone jumps, like in a Fast Saga movie, jumps off of your car onto a train, does their thing, and then they jump on the hood of your car when they're done, and then they climb in the side of the car. Like, you're always in a car, and you're always driving. I have to give them a lot of credit for that, because I think a lot of other games have been like, here's our stealth sequence where you're on foot. And it's like, no, no one wants to be doing that. I felt the music was fairly solid, even if there wasn't a lot of it.
Also very representative of the series.
Yeah, like the intro and outro songs were very much like, yeah, this is the end credit song for a Fast movie. All right, that makes sense. So it's like a vaguely rap song talking about, like, you're too slow, get out of my way. Like,
yeah, and the fact that they actually use the music from the movies during missions is a little bit of one of those false figures where it's just like, oh, don't you dare get my heart rate up because you're lying to me, game.
Right. Risk of Rain, how dare you? And I think I actually kind of liked the final race/chase sequence where you're riding alongside this rocket that's like shooting through Miami.
That's specifically what I did not want to talk about, because if there's one moment in this game that's like nails the feel of a fast movie, it's that mission.
And like, you're switching between
this rocket from taking out,
right.
from taking off, and then they stop it by blowing it up, and then as it's falling, the engines turn on, and then the thing is just going sideways down across the stage.
It's so good because like it starts to take off. And Dom takes it out, and it just falls over. And I was like, "Well, that's okay." And then just like the rocket engines kick off, and it just shoots off down through. And it's just like I think it's the first time, ironically, because it's the last thing you do in the game, the first time that it nails what it's trying to do, which is you are at a full clip with virtually nothing in your way, racing alongside this rocket. And switching between party members, like all 4 people, pulling off individual stuff on this rocket to try and take it down. And it genuinely feels really great. And you finish it, and that's the end of the game.
Yep.
Like, it finally gets what it's going for all the way to the end. Like, even the hoverboat thing before that wasn't that great because it was a little too easy to, like, drive into the river and it respawns you and you're at, like, 0 miles an hour and it didn't feel super great. But this is the first time where it really, really nailed it, and it was too little too late.
Yep.
Crossroads is a bad game, but it's definitely not the worst game I've ever played. It functions. The driving is never great. It's fine. It never controls as well as it needs to, and you never really ever get your arms around it. It's saying something that the best driving in the game is literally in a straight line where you're just holding down the accelerator the whole time. The voice acting is largely not bad. Dom and Letty's voice acting is it's a little bit better than you would sort of expect from 2 people in a voice acting booth for a Fast and Furious video game.
Romans is pretty solid.
Romans is actually really solid. I feel like he nails that character the whole time, and I feel like he has the most fun with it out of like all the 5 or 6 people that are in the movie.
Better not being about no damn cigar.
That's right. It's just we very rarely do this on the show because it very rarely matters. This is a $60 video game. I spent $60 on a game that lasted 4.5, 5, 6 hours, and most of that was cutscenes. And the racing wasn't that great. The story was definitely a Fast Saga story, sort of for better or for worse.
It was a Fast Saga fanfic.
Yeah, that's probably the best way of putting it. Yeah. It's really disappointing because I think Fast and Furious Crossroads delivers the quality of product that people think the Fast Saga movies deliver. But the Fast Saga movies are, whether you like them or not, are legitimately well-made movies.
Yep.
If you don't like them, if you don't like popcorn action movies, I totally understand. But they are not bad movies. They're just divisive. There was one bad movie, but like the rest of them.
I can tell you, as someone who has watched most of them, doesn't remember a whole lot about any of them.
Yeah,
that it was okay to watch them.
Yeah, they're not. It's not the thing where it's like this. Half of these scenes are out of focus, or like the CG. The CG is terrible in 4, but like most of them have fine CG, and like they're not bad movies. I feel like Crossroads is what people think they are. Where it's just like most of this is
representation of what they are.
Right, like bad representations of what I think are good movies, and in the worst case, they are divisive. It's just a bummer because I feel like when you take that team, who is obviously not used to anywhere near their skills,
Project Cars team here, not the family team.
Yeah, the Project Cars team, and you take the Fast Saga series, which is ripe for little spin-offs and stuff that's this happened between these two movies, the tale we've never told, that stuff. It's perfect for that. And you even got three of like some of the biggest actors from The Rock doesn't show up, but three of the biggest actors from that series, and you kind of put out a bad game. Like it doesn't do anything well, and it doesn't do anything great. It's just kind of a bummer the whole way through. And I didn't touch any of the online ops stuff. As soon as I saw the credits finish, I uninstalled it. Because like I will never play through this again because it's not good enough for like a rainy day. Where it's like, Crossroads isn't great, but yeah, maybe I'll just bang through it in 4 or 5 hours. Watch some of the dumb cutscenes. But like, it's not even that good to do that. It's not good enough to revisit, and it's just a bummer from top to bottom.
Normally, I'm not a big fan of saying, yeah, go check out, critic aggregators.
Right.
But Metacritic has this as a 35 from reviews and a 1.8 from users.
Well, and user reviews are worthless, but yeah, 35 is probably a bit stronger than I would rate it. I'd probably rate it a 5 out of 10. Because I think
I think I would go those as like based on how insanely hard it is to control. I almost swore again then.
Yeah.
I would go to 3 because it just doesn't control well. It just
that's a good point. It for a racing game, the racing doesn't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like impossible to finish races, but the game's kind of fighting you the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a disappointment. And this is one of the few games, like I said, I have spent $60 on in 2020. So that carries an extra level of disappointment, especially in like the era of Game Pass and games with gold and the PS Plus games and all this other stuff. Like, to spend $60 on a game in 2020 is sort of like, this is the thing I've been really looking forward to. And I don't even have like Stockholm Syndrome where it's like, yeah, it's been $60. That's great. I had a lot of fun. It's like, no, it's not great.
Especially in this day and age now where some companies are pushing that next-gen game should be $70 and then you release something like this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, this isn't even worth $20.
And like $30 or $40 would have taken the sting out of it, to be sure. Like this very much is a budget title, but I feel like with the actors that are present in it, you probably can't charge budget dollars because you're probably trying to make some of that money back. But
car licenses, actors, and
Yeah, car
franchise.
licenses.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the three things that they spent money on. It feels
Yeah.
like.
And it's such
Did
a
you have
bummer.
to pay? Do you have to pay for those? Didn't this have loot boxes?
No.
No, I don't think so. It has
I
a
thought
season pass, but
Maybe that's what I was thinking of.
you at
then.
least get like the season pass, probably season 1 of 1. You got that for free when you bought the game. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it just I don't know. It feels like one of those games that didn't need more time in the oven. It just kind of needed like 2 more years. Like it feels
And
like one
about
of those.
$40 million more.
Yeah, like it feels like one of those games that came out like at the end of a console's life cycle, like not 2020, but like 2023, where it's like, this game came out on PS4 and Xbox One. That's crazy. Whatever. Or like it's a launch window licensed game for a brand new console. Where it's like, that's not great, but it's in 4K, I guess. Like it. It's just not good. I can't recommend it to anyone. I just you shouldn't play it. If one of your favorite streamers or YouTubers are playing it and you like watching them suffer, this will probably be a pretty good episode of their show. But
here's one for you, Boston. Dan
Yeah.
Reichert recently played this game.
yeah, that doesn't shock me. But
He streamed it.
oh boy, I don't know if
Double
I'll watch
the
that.
pain.
Yeah, I
Zero
don't know. I'm punishing myself twice. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about our last game this week, the one that both Moon and I have been playing, and that is Spiritfarer. It is available now on Game Pass for Xbox One and PC. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while. You mentioned that you was the in-app message you got. Is
Yep.
that the one that pushed you to play it?
Yeah, and I was talking to Rob about this last night.
Mhm.
Like, it came up while I got the notification while I was on break at work.
Mhm.
And I was like, a lot of the apps see what these things are, try and get some trailers or screenshots, but the place where I work doesn't have great cell signal, so I couldn't watch trailers. So all I saw was screenshots, essentially. So I was like, okay, I'm going to remote install this, remote install this, remote install this.
Right.
And then hope that my remote installs went through because we have 3 Xboxes in the house.
Right. Although I do have to say, I really like the update they've done on the Game Pass app where it shows you, hey, which one of these PCs or which one of these Xboxes do you want to install it on? And here's the free space available on each of those devices. I think that's really cool.
That's really good, except the 3 Xboxes in our household are called Moon's Xbox One, Moon's Xbox One X, and Jess's Xbox One X.
Okay.
Slight problem. Naming convention-wise, we do the game share thing. Is my Xbox One X the one that I play on, or the one that I have set to home? So that's the one that has the licenses, which is the one Jess plays on.
Gotcha.
And then
so
the
install it on all 3.
Jess's Xbox One X,
right.
Because then I don't know.
Right.
So
right.
I ended up not being able to remote install them anyway because my Xbox didn't do that for reasons I don't know. But sure, I installed it when I as soon as I got home anyway. So yes.
So the marketing line and the description you'll see for this game, I'll break it down here in more detail here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
The issue / agreement I have with this game is they call it a cozy management game about dying. And the first half of that is right. It is a cozy management game, which we'll get into. But the about dying makes it sound like it's a really bummer of a game when it's really like a bittersweet experience. The game starts off with you're this woman, Stella, and you wake up to meet Kayron, the boatman.
Yes.
And he says like, "Hey man, I just kind of done doing this job, so you're in the new Spiritfarer. Peace." And
he vanishes.
And you just have to do some OTJ about how to be a Spiritfarer. And your job is to you have this boat and you're building accommodations and management stuff. You have like farming stuff and trees and take care of sheep and cows and stuff like that. And you have like places to cut wood, places to smelt metal, things like that.
Which, for perspective-wise as well, this is a 2D side-scrolling puzzle platformer kind of thing, and the boat the Boston's talking about is seen on a 2D side view, and you construct buildings on the deck of the boat.
Yeah, and you're like largely building up.
Yes.
You build side to side, but like the game is really pushing a lot of verticality. So it's building. One of the coolest parts about this game is it's building ladders and stilts and stuff for the individual buildings dynamically as you're placing them. So like it's going to build your ladders to get up to this thing, but if you build something all the way up at the top of where you can build and nothing below it, it's just going to have this one giant ladder leading to the deck of the ship. And I think that's super
I'm not
cool.
gonna lie, I kind of made mine an Edith Finch boat.
Yes.
Which
Mine
if
is...
you've played Edith Finch and seen that house, my boat looks like that house now.
I have I just bought the second to last size upgrade, and my ship is a huge, just disastrous, like Weasley from Harry Potter's like monstrosity. It's really great. So your job is to take these spirits onto your boat and sort of have them make peace with their life, and
help them deal with the issues that they may be wandering around in this afterlife with from whatever their life was.
And a lot of it is like, the majority of it is you're going to talk to them. There's a ton of writing in this game, and it's all really well done. And you kind of, the thing that's really bittersweet is you really get to know each. I've already sent off 6 passengers, and I'm working on 3 more right now. And you really get to know these people as you're helping them deal with trauma or their life or maybe passing away too early. And like, it's never really that sad. It's not like outright sad, but it's kind of relatable. And then you get to send them off through, they call it the Ever Door. You kind of send them off through, they've made peace, and then you kind of send them along on their way. And like, it's sad. Like, I'm definitely tearing up for the majority of the people I've sent off. But it's kind of this like hopeful thing where it's like, yeah, I've helped them, and I've helped them feel better or deal with this thing they did in their life that they had grief over, and now they're happy and they can kind of go on.
It's probably a really poor way to phrase this, but it's very much an Irish funeral.
Yes.
I don't know, I've been to a couple of American funerals, I've been to too many English funerals. The Irish do funerals right, which is, and they say it at the start of every funeral, but nobody's listening, everybody's too upset and too sad. The whole thing with the Irish culture and the Celtic culture is you don't be sad that they're not there anymore, you be happy for the stuff that happened on the way.
You be happy you knew them.
It's more of a celebration of life, rather than the misery of death kind of thing. And Irish people may have a lot of alcohol involved with said celebration of life. But
that's half the fun.
Yes.
I don't think you've been to enough American funerals. 90% of the ones I've been to are family reunions / beer fest.
That's the right way to do it. Like, let's have a party, man. Yeah.
But it's more of that kind of thing where it's like, you don't be sad for the in real life, you don't be sad for the loss, you'd be happy for the times, good and bad, you got there. And this, I haven't sent any spirits yet off yet, because I only started playing this on Friday when I got the notification and started installing it. Mr. I'm 32 hours in the game over here, and Rob in chat, Mr. I'm 45 hours in the game over here. Like,
Rob and I have both been talking on Discord and just being like, I set off another one. Like, it's like, it's so, and part of it, number one, this is one of the best looking games that has launched this year.
I was going to say that.
If not in the last couple years.
Like, everyone went crazy about like how Rogue Legacy looked and how the Metroidvania made by one dude, Xbox 360 arcade title, really great game.
You think about Braid?
Pardon?
Braid?
No. I hate using this word, the fairy Metroidvania game.
Oh,
Now you know the one I'm talking about.
yeah, that guy
Child
made
of
that game
Light?
for like 12 years.
Which was that one? What'd you
Child
say?
of Light.
Nope.
No, it's the one that everyone thought was the furry one, but it's not
It
really.
wasn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dust of Elysian.
Yeah,
There
Dust,
we go.
Elysian Tale. Yeah, Dust. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much like that, where it's like this. It looks like an animated movie in like a cell animated way. Like
Okay.
it's so fluid and it's so incredibly great looking, and like every animation is so great. And part of the reason, this isn't a spoiler, part of the reason why, so when we talk to somebody, there are 5 options on this little wheel that pops up. It's give, feed, talk, hug, and basically like see their character sheet, which tells you what foods they like, how they're feeling, what they've interacted with lately, and how that makes them feel, for good or bad. Every single character's animation for hugging is so like Boy and His Blob quality hugging animations, like, and they're all different and they all look so good. And the heartbreaking, go ahead.
I was just going to say, talking about those animations,
Yeah.
I was hoping to drop this on you pre-show. I planned this out with Rob. I was like, I'm going to play this game.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell Boston I'm playing this game, and then I'm going to steal one of his games, so he
Right.
has to talk about it up front.
I gotcha.
You discovered my plan, so obviously
Yes.
that didn't go as thinking. But I was gonna introduce this game by
Mhm.
saying, "What's your favorite idle animation game ever, Nimp?" Because Boston's got a new answer, and I've got a new answer.
I have 2 characters in this game that have incredible idle animations. It's Stella, your character, who's doing like juggling and like yo-yo
flicks and-
stuff with the Everlight thing she has. And it's
The
Dandelion,
best one.
the cat,
Yes.
who's playing with her Everlight, which I also didn't know this is a co-op game. The other person plays as the cat.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea until I saw an article on like Polygon or Kotaku or something. So all the idle animations are great. There's a character, like a really big character in a hummingbird that has some really great animations later on in the game. But the part that always breaks me and gets me like super misty-eyed is when you say goodbye to someone, the last thing you do is that hug animation. And it just like my heart cracks in two every single time. Because like you've spent hours with each individual character and you've gone through this whole storyline.
Dealing with their fears, helping
Yep.
them fix their past,
Yep.
traumatic issues that they may be dealing with.
Going
was-
all over this map, like in your ship to
By the
deal
way,
with stuff.
It's essentially an open world resource gathering survival game at the same time.
Yeah.
So
And part of the whole time I was playing this, I was thinking, why did I not like Grounded, which is a survival crafting game? And why do I love the crafting in Spiritfarer? And I think for me, I like crafting when it's in service of building something. Like you're crafting this stuff so you can build the buildings for the people, whether it is like building a like a windmill to grind up flour and stuff, or if it's someone's house, or you're crafting stuff to put improvements on that person's house to make them feel better, or crafting stuff to make your ship better.
Which, by the way, as well, all of these crafting locations and obviously all the things, they'll have their own individual mini games, which are really well done, not too complicated, not super simple. Like you can't just not pay attention to it, but at the same time, it's not like playing through Fire and Flames on the hardest.
Yeah, they're
difficulty
like
in the world.
almost zero stress. Like each one of them is fun. They last just long enough, and then you're kind of back off. You're back on to the next thing you're doing. I think the thing that makes me feel better about this is you're not crafting your tools, because the cool thing about this is the Everlight that Kayron gave you is all of your tools. It just morphs into whatever you need, and none of that stuff breaks. So you're never just halfway into a mine and your axe breaks. So you got to go back to the ship and make another. No, it's just always with you. You're improving your ship and the sort of the lives of the spirits that are on there. Brain Eater in chat says the resource gathering is also very generous too. Yes.
Yeah. which each resource gathering as well. Usually there is a small mini game involved with that, but you always get like anywhere between 3 to 5. It's never 1. It's 3 to 5. And this is using Grounded as a perfect example of this. This is the type of crafting I like. In Grounded, you get 3 plant fibers, and you use 3 plant fibers to make 1 twisted coil or whatever it is, which is basically rope made with grass. In this, you get 1 piece of 1 linen that you have grown, and you turn that into 3 linen strings. It's the math is flipped. It's
each one of those 3 linen strings turns into 3 to 5 fibers. So it's like you're right. The pyramid is flipped upside down.
1 for 3, and it just feels so much more rewarding to do it that way. Like I have 6 hours into this game, and I've been thinking about it a lot today while I've been like doing chores and stuff. It's just like I wonder how the cat's doing and the boat's doing, and the fact that you set a direction, you can't sail in the dark, so it gives you the option to go to bed and skip until morning, where you can ring the bell and wake everybody up. Or you can go to the back of the ship and just fish off the back of the ship and while away the time just fishing.
Or you can spend that time crafting stuff in all your buildings while everybody's asleep and no one else is using that equipment. Because if you let people use that equipment, you can talk to them later and they say, oh, like, I spent a whole bunch of time in the smithy. Here's all the stuff I made. And they just give you like 5 of everything. And you didn't do anything. It's like, the thing that I've been thinking of the most, Spiritfarer is going to be very high in my top 10 list this year, unless they totally miss the landing, which I really don't expect. It reminds me a lot of Stardew Valley. It has the same energy. It has the same low stakes. You can't really fail anything in this game. Like if you failing a mini game means that like maybe you got 3 fireflies instead of 5, but those 3 fireflies are going to turn into 10 anyway. So you didn't fail anything. And if you wanted to do it again, you just sort of sail away a little bit and then come back. Like none of your tools break. It's super relaxing. The music is great. The writing is great. Like it has that same feel where it's like, I'm just going to keep playing this because the stakes are so low, but I'm getting so much stuff done that feels so rewarding. And then like you have all these movement upgrades. I just got one where you like bounce off stuff and you can bounce super high in the air and combine that with other stuff. So it's like you get all these cool movement upgrades, but if you fail that, you don't take fall damage. You never get hurt. There's no combat in it. You just try again, and you just try again until you succeed, or you don't, and you just come back to it later. Whatever. Like the game doesn't really care.
With Rob last night, like we were trying to figure out, like I feel bad saying it because it's not technically a Blue Sky game. It's not. Content-wise, it cannot be considered a Blue Sky game because it's not a Blue Sky game, but it feels like a Blue Sky game. Like it's got that. No hassle, no muss, no fuss. Play at your pace, your leisure. The spirits that are on your ship get hungry, but guess what happens if you don't feed them? Nothing.
Right. They just complain and they say, "Look, I'm real hungry
already."
And they say like, "Yo, I'm real hungry," and you can say, "Okay, cool, peace." And then it's not like a Tamagotchi. It doesn't die. They just next time you pass by them, they're like, "Hey, I'm real hungry," and you're like, "Okay, cool. Like I'm gonna harvest some peaches. So like, give me a minute."
It sounds like a nice anti-stress game.
Where
you have objectives to do, but you're not rushing against the clock, or
there's no time limit.
Time you're just screwed for the rest of the game.
And like you can never really fail a crafting thing either. Like if you quote unquote fail it, maybe if you do it perfectly, like in the loom, for example, if you hit the like center point perfectly, maybe it'll give you 5 things. But if you don't hit it perfectly, it'll probably give you 3, sometimes 4. Like it doesn't ever say like, no, you really screwed that up. So like you failed.
If you're way off, it gives you 1. So you still get a 1-to-1 ratio return.
And you can do some stuff later on in the game for one of your spirits that the character wants you to put not appropriate stuff into that to see what would happen. So you like put a fish in the loom and like garbage comes out. And it's like, okay, cool. I have 400 other fish, so like whatever. Like that. All right, I'm making progress on this mission. Like I could continue to talk about Spiritfarer for probably the next 2 or 3 hours. Just all this. The cat when you go into the water, first off, when you fall into the water off your ship stops, which is great. Your cat.
Totally forgot to mention the cat animation when you go in the water.
The cat animation when you go in the water, since cats don't like water, balances on the ball as the ball rolls around so the cat doesn't sit in the water.
Like literally runs on top of the ball, on top of the surface of the water. Yep. It's so good.
It like everything about it feels so good, and everything about it feels. It makes me happy in the way that Stardew Valley did, where I'm working towards goals that have no time frame associated with them. So like if this person's like, hey, I really want to go to this island so I can continue my story, I've had people there for like 15 hours. And I'm like, yeah, I'll get over there first, but like I got to see this dragon and I got to go see this lighthouse, and the collector wants to see me because I collected some more stuff and I made some more dishes.
You've got to broker a union.
Right, yeah, to mediate a union, which was really great. And like, no one gets mad at you about that, which like for 2020 is the perfect thing. And it just, it feels so great playing this game. And I feel sad when I have to see someone off because except for one of them, who you're not supposed to like, I like everybody that's been on my ship, and it's bittersweet to see them go, but I know I'm going to get someone else on my ship that I'm going to, forge a friendship with, and that's also kind of my job as a Spiritfarer. Like, I cannot recommend this game enough. It is on Game Pass. It is on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One and PC. It's on Game Pass right now for Xbox One and PC. I'm playing it on PC, 1080p 60. It's totally fine. Has controller support, which is great. I don't think you should play this with keyboard and mouse. It doesn't work super well. But I cannot recommend this enough for people, especially during Hell Year 2020. This is like the perfect balm for this nightmare of a year. Please go try Spiritfarer. It has a slow beginning, so don't expect like the first hour to be like the hottest banger of 2020. This isn't Doom Eternal.
It's a slow intro.
Yeah, and
that's
like
fine.
You have a lot of crafting to do, and you have a lot of stuff to learn. The on the job training that you're doing, but it all feels great and it all feels fun and it feels super rewarding, which I think
just seriously go give it a shot.
Yeah.
If you have Game Pass, then you already have access to it on PC and Xbox.
Yep. Just please try it. It's so good. I very rarely try to get. Normally when we talk about stuff on the show, it's like, well, if you like these things, you'll probably like it. It's on Game Pass. It's free, whatever. Like, I just go try it. It's really great. And I think the majority of people that try it will really like it. I think it is something you should experience. It's really great. Rob, Brain Eater in chat says everyone needs to play this game. Yeah. Just give it a shot. Give it a couple hours. It's definitely not like a skill-based thing, but I think you're going to have fun. I think it tells a really great story. And I don't want to spoil anything because
it looks, at least.
Yeah, like see some of those animations.
Judge a game by its cover, but 100% judge this by its cover and install it now.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, everyone should go try it. But that's all I'm playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yep.
All right.
You're right back. Bathroom.
Take a little drink here. Check up on the old news stories. Probably nothing.
Probably.
Not much happened this week.
And you know what? That's not a bad thing.
No, I will definitely take that over the alternative. Yeah, we'll talk about that. What is mobile action RPG Pascal's Wager? Okay, I've never heard of that before. Talk about that. First trailer for the Flash's 7th season is a roller coaster. Yeah, I can't watch that. I don't want those hot spoilers. Hey, Jimbo Jangles, how you doing? A game called Verdant Village. Game features fishing, farming, mining, cooking, crafting, animals to raise, questing, secrets, romance. All right.
We already
check
have
that
one
out.
of those. You just talked about one of those.
I know. It has everything. Rob asks, has the smoke from the fire been bad at all by you, Boston? No, I over the last couple of days, I think we've been smelling it, but we really haven't seen it. I think we're too far south because we're right next to the Mexico border, so I think we're significantly far away from it. But I think we're starting to get, especially at night, like once all the clouds are gone, we're getting a lot of that smell. Which I mean, I can't complain because for once the fires are not near us. But I'm hoping everybody's okay with how bad those fires have been. What other news stories here do we have? Yeah, Bay Area's been real bad. Welcome back, Moon.
Thank you.
What time is it? Oof. Okay. Ready to go whenever you guys are.
Hang on, I'm buying Spiritfarer right now. Like the reason I was skipping around all week was just nothing was grabbing me.
There's like nothing meaty to bite into.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I finished Ghost of Tsushima and I'm like, okay, that was a game I wasn't expecting to get into. And then I'm
Yeah.
looking at everything that I could play and I'm like, none of this looks interesting right now.
Right.
Yep.
Spiritfarer is here to help.
I was say it's not that they're bad games or anything. It's just I'm in that mood where nothing's clicking again.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is
I had,
why I
like-
didn't have a whole lot to talk about because I'm either at the beginning where nothing has happened yet, so there's nothing
Right.
to talk about, or I'm at a point where it's like it's all spoilery, so I can't say anything about it.
Yeah, I had like the lowest of lows to highest of highs because I think I finished Fast and Furious on either Monday or Tuesday, and Spiritfarer came out on Tuesday, and I was like, all right, let's dive into this because I just finished Fast and Furious. It's like, oh no, there went my whole week. This is awesome.
Well, and that was one of the games that I had on the list to check out, but I forgot it came out this past week.
Yeah, the developers have been talking about it for a while where it's like, yeah, we're still working on it. And then the Nintendo Indie thing, the showcase they did this week, part of that was like, hey, here's Spiritfarer. It's out right now. And it's like, oh, shit, okay, let's go. So that was kind of a nice surprise.
Okay.
I also have a vape. Whew. It's not cold enough for that. It hit 105 here this week.
Yeah, it was like fucking like I think it was like 98 here the other day.
It was 105 with 60% humidity. And we don't have air conditioning.
We've been hitting drastic temperature changes between day and night where it'll be like 89 degrees and then it's 52 degrees at night. And then it jumps back up to like 80, and because it's foggy because of the temperature change, it's also humid as fuck.
Yeah.
We're getting the same like where like for the past maybe month or two I've been sleeping with just a sheet, and I don't sleep with just a fucking sheet. I fucking hate. Give me a nice snuggly fucking blanket.
Yeah, like I want a burrito up.
Yes, so that tells you how hot it's been here. For the past week, it's literally been like fucking 96 to blanket weather in bed for me, and it's just like, yeah. Give me my blanket. I'm just gonna snuggle on up in my blanket and just stick my Dune podcast audiobook thing in, and then fall asleep listening to the dulcet tones of Muad'Dib.
Yeah, it was like because usually our air conditioner or our furnace usually stays around 69 or 70 degrees. And for like the last couple of weeks, we've been sitting at like 65 just to keep the house cool because we don't have any trees around our house because we live in a neighborhood.
Sure,
so it's just constant sun beating, and it's an old house, so it's like, oh yeah, the downstairs is cool, but when you go upstairs, it's 108 degrees.
Yeah,
yeah. I did I've been working out our basement. Like I towel myself down, like I've got towels and everything down there. I towel myself down, came upstairs to go jump in the shower, and literally 2 seconds after I left the basement, it was just like sweat dripping off every part of me again. It was just like,
yeah, the coolest it's been getting here at night, like at 2 or 3 in the morning, is 80. Like it never gets cool, and it's just because of that the hurricane, Gulf of Mexico.
just helping things out. Yeah, like today, it's a high of 87, and it's supposed to be a low of 69.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool right now. It's 89 degrees. All right, you guys ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of August 24th, 2020. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition comes out for Switch, PS4, iOS, and Android. Reminder, this does have cross-platform play, so a bunch of people can be on their phone and be in the same party as people on consoles.
Wait, does that mean you can play with the GameCube people?
I'm sure someone will find a way to hack that together.
I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, this doesn't have local multiplayer. It's only
You're correct.
online.
Super confusing.
That really threw me off.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, just buy it on the phone, and someone can play on their phone, and someone can play on the PS4, and it's like, yeah, but
The Switch is the only console that I have like 8 controllers for.
Right. Well, it's so confusing because like the original was GameCube and Game Boy Advance local multiplayer only, and this one, their big thing,
link cables.
that was super good.
I remember those.
This one was, hey, we're finally putting it online. It was like, great, and the asterisk was, but we're taking away local multiplayer. It's like, the monkey paw curls again.
Because my son wanted to get it, and I was like, I'm not buying 2 copies of this game.
Right,
so
I'm not going to
play this.
Right, yeah. And then we'll buy another one for your other kid. Like, yeah. Moon Remix RPG Adventure comes out for Switch.
Yes.
This is your video game comes out. How do you feel about your upcoming release? Development been tough?
If it's a remix of me, then that should be the happy version at least.
That's right. Well, this game's kind of nuts because it is sort of an anti-RPG where you're starting the game after the hero has defeated the bad guy and the world is at peace. So like you have no bad guy to chase, you have no world to save. You just gotta kind of find your place in the after the game happens.
You have to level up your happiness.
Yeah. This game has been hugely influential. It came out on the original PlayStation Japan and never got was pretty much never going to come out here ever. But it has inspired a whole bunch of stuff, most recently Undertale. So if you want to see the game that has spawned and inspired a whole bunch of games you love, Moon is supposed to be a really, really great game. And thankfully it's getting released here.
All we need now, speaking of games that desperately need remakes, is Dark Death Devilman versus Unlosing Ranger.
Bring it over to Switch, guys. It would do really in 2020. ZHP would do really well on the Switch. Everyone loves roguelikes now. Yeah, but like everybody loves roguelikes now, and indies are killing it on the Switch. I think they could position it and market it really well on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Surgeon Simulator 2 coming out on PC, so that's always a great time. Don't Nod's new game, Tell Me Why Chapter 1 comes out on PC and Xbox One. This is Game Pass day and date. These are 3 episodes. They are only showing on PC and Xbox One. I found out today because they're published by Xbox Game Studios. So that's a really good reason. Madden NFL 21 comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One alongside Project Cars 3 launching on the same platforms. And Wasteland 3 comes out, I think, this Friday.
You missed a D&D on that one as well, by the way.
Yes, Wasteland is Game Pass day and date. Thank you for reminding me. Except on PS4. LOL. But yeah, way more people are excited about Wasteland 3 than I was expecting. I'm excited about how many people are super pumped about that game.
The Fallout fans in my Twitter feed have certainly come out the woodworks since then. And when I say Fallout, I mean original Fallout.
Yeah, 1 and 2, like the OG ones. Yeah. Let's talk about news stories. DC had their Fandome this past week. They announced a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't matter for the show, so we'll talk about the 2 video games they did announce, starting with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That's coming out in 2022. There's a CG trailer, so whatever. That game, I think that game will probably be pretty fun if they have online multiplayer. If not, it'll probably still be pretty good.
Odds are the spy guy is Bizarro as well. by the way.
Spoiler alert, it does have online multiplayer. If you're playing single player, it has bots. The other one is called Gotham Knights. This is the worst kept secret of Rocksteady's history here. Does not feature Batman because he dies at the beginning. Features Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Coming next year to PS4 and 5, PC, Xbox One, Series X. And the bad guys are the Court of Owls.
Also, for the record, you missed dies.
Yes, quote unquote dies. Batman comic book dies.
And also, quick point of order: this is 2-player co-op.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yep, it's 2-player co-op, and one of the lead designers behind the co-op was also responsible for Splinter Cell Blacklist.
Oh no, I'm in trouble.
Which, if you didn't play Splinter Cell I think it was Blacklist, which is the most recent non-Michael Ironside Sam Fisher game.
Right.
If you didn't play that in co-op, then you don't realize how good of a co-op experience you missed.
Really missing out. Yeah, that is it makes me more excited.
Co-op game. I did not care about this game at all. I honestly didn't. It's like, cool, it's another Batman game. I still haven't played City.
Yeah, like Rocksteady's making another Batman game. Like, cool. I wish they would have the freedom to do something else, but maybe they just really like making these games. And you told me that, and now I'm way more excited about it.
Yep. Dibs on Nightwing for the Xbox version. If I play with my wife, dibs on Nightwing.
Speaking of comic book stuff, I forgot that I downloaded the open beta for the Marvel's Avengers on PS4, and when I turned it to performance mode, it was 1080p 60 frames, which was really nice. So I'm a little bit more interested for Avengers now, which comes out in like 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. The epic Apple slap fight continues here. I won't recap the entire...
Just hit the bullet points and let's move on.
I won't recap the entire thing because a lot of it is just really a slap fight. But the biggest issue here, and the only reason we're talking about it for a second week in a row, because normally it would just be like, yeah, billionaires are slapping it out again on top of their dumb yacht, like it's the end of MGS4. Apple is now threatening to revoke Epic's access to development tools. That's the important part. On August 28th, unless Epic pushes an update to remove the alternate purchasing option for Fortnite. What that would ultimately mean is that Epic would no longer be able to push updates to the Unreal Engine on iOS as new versions of iOS come out that would necessitate a Unreal Engine upgrade, which wouldn't hurt just Epic. It would hurt literally anybody that uses the Unreal Engine on iOS.
Which, spoiler alert, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people and a lot of big companies. Epic has filed a motion with the same court that they filed the lawsuit to prevent Apple from retaliating. The craziest thing that happened just a little bit before we started recording today, Phil Spencer, Spency himself, the High Lord Spency, has formally released a statement, it's sort of Xbox themselves, in support of Epic. And said, like, hey, not only do we as Microsoft rely on the Unreal Engine heavily, but hundreds, if not thousands, of indie developers also rely on this engine and this framework to publish their games. That's not a really great move to sort of pull that rug out from not just Epic, but all of these individual developers, publishers. So that was not the surprising turn that I thought was going to happen this week. But it's interesting to see someone like Microsoft come out and say, like, no, we're going to support this because, you know, we get you have your policies and we get you have this stuff going on, but you can't punish all of these people because you two are having a slap fight about this.
Yeah,
so.
It's obviously we mentioned this last week. It's two corporations fighting. Whoever wins, we lose. I believe was Alex Navarro's.
None of them are your friends. Yeah.
Yes, but like it's the literal like you did a thing in this game that we don't like, so therefore your overlords at your head office, they're the ones going to get punished.
Right.
But they're not really going to get punished because they'll still do stuff for Unreal for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So literally all Apple have done here is either not thought about this or not cared enough
Right.
about everybody who develops on Unreal. There isn't Epic.
Right. Because you're punishing all of them. Epic have bajillions of dollars. And like, I can understand Apple's standpoint is you broke the rules that we have in clear black and white, and you knew you were going to do it. Just undo it, and we won't punish you. And obviously we know what Epic's standpoint is. So like, I understand why both of them are sticking to their guns, but Apple is definitely taking this a step too far and punishing the tiny one-person development teams that are putting out stuff, because the Unreal Engine has really great terms that favor indie developers, and it's like a mature product, and games look great in Unreal Engine, and like The Mandalorian looked great as a TV show in Unreal Engine. Like that's how wide-reaching this engine is. So Apple is really taking this just a step too far here.
Honestly, though, I don't care about either company, but I don't see this as being Apple's fault so much as Epic knowing what they were doing. I mean, like you were saying, Apple had their rule set, and everyone can see that Epic decided, no, we're going to
poking
do this
the
our
beehive.
way. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, you can be mad at both. I don't care.
Well,
but it's Apple doing what they say that they were going to be doing. Where it's like,
they're
hey,
upholding their
rules.
Right.
Yeah, you knew what was going to happen, and you were willfully deciding not to follow these guidelines.
Right. And
so
the real frustrating... go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, you can say that Apple is hurting these companies, but Apple wasn't really the one that started it. People came to this platform knowing what Apple was going to charge, knowing what Apple was going to do.
Right.
If you don't like it, either petition with Apple or just don't use their platform.
And it is one thing for Epic to say, like, I think this 30% is unfair, which, yes, that's a lot of money, especially for Fortnite. And using their clout and using their weight to sort of throw around to try and get this to change. But the collateral damage seems really big. And like the really terrible, the worst thing about this whole thing throughout this has been Epic weaponizing Fortnite fans. That it sucked last week, it still sucks this week, and it has sucked even further because Epic is now saying like, oh no, because of what Apple did, we can't update iOS for the new season that's coming next week. Gosh, if only you guys would try and convince Apple that we can't even patch the game anymore. Oh man, that would be so terrible with the next season on the way. It's like, guys, come on. Like,
and that's why I'm actually kind of surprised that Xbox decided to say anything, or at least, Phil Spence decided to say anything.
Especially like formally, because they put like a formal appeals through lawyers and stuff like.
Only because right now Epic is doing this to Apple, and however this turns out, what's to stop anyone else from doing it? Yeah, to Xbox or to Sony, or because you're all doing the same thing. People may think your terms are better than what they're getting with Apple.
Right. Like the Epic Game Store only charges 12 or 18%, whatever that is, instead of the 30. So that's a more attractive thing. But
if indie developers decided that, oh no, this should really be 5 and not 12.
Right.
And then you're just opening a whole can of worms of people deciding to weaponize a fan base so that people can get their way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
It's a dumb
That's the dangerous part.
That Epic knew that they were getting into. They knew what they were doing, and they're trying to shift the blame to a company that no one had, people had issues with, but there are ways to go about doing this, and Epic decided to do it their way.
Yeah.
And it's not clean.
Go ahead, man.
For me, Epic is to blame for starting this. You are 100% correct there.
Yeah.
I think Apple's biggest mistake that they just made is they escalated it way too high, way too quick.
Someone brought a gun to a fight, and Apple's just launching a nuke. It's just like, no, wait, hold on.
Apple have made this not just about them and Epic. That's where the issue for me comes from. It's not,
that's the big problem.
It's no longer about Apple versus Epic. This is now about Apple versus everybody who uses the Unreal Engine, which a lot of devs use. And this is Epic saying, well, we're just going to take advantage of the fact that you very clearly overstepped what's acceptable in the minds of the populace, and we're just going to keep sending our sheeple fans straight at your borders.
And the thing that's so frustrating about Epic doing all the hashtags and these dumb parody videos and all that stuff is, ever since Gamergate started, weaponizing fan bases has been really bad for like the last 4 or 5 years. You shouldn't be doing that. Like,
Well, don't look at what happens to any actor or any like person in mainstream culture or appeal. Like, go look at like the guy who made Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, he made 2, then got fired because of stuff he said 15 years ago or whatever, and has since clarified and apologized and explained a little bit better. And then was rehired again after being hired by the direct rivals to do Suicide Squad movies.
Right.
I'm just waiting for all this to backfire.
It's
majorly.
I mean,
no matter which outcome comes from this, nothing good is going to come from it.
No,
I think that's why the one thing I can say about Xbox stepping in on this is the way they have phrased this is very clearly they have sided with Epic, specifically the Unreal Engine side of things. They haven't come out and
like
said,
all these indie developers.
They haven't come out and said we agree with Fortnite. They've said we agree with the Unreal Engine shouldn't be at this block. I think if Apple hadn't made that decision, Microsoft doesn't say a word about this.
No, Microsoft's like, look, it's between the two of them. Hey, get Game Pass. It's really great. Whatever.
I am curious because wasn't the Epic lawsuit against Apple and Google?
Yes. It's against them both.
Does anyone know what Google has said or done? Because I haven't heard.
I don't think they've done.
It's all been about Apple.
I don't think they've done very much. I think the problem is it doesn't matter so much on Android because you can sideload Fortnite anyway, like pretty easily on Android, and you can just keep playing it. So like, there's no wall in front of you in Fortnite. It's just sort of like, all right, I just got to Google search it and we'll do it real quick. And I don't think Google cares that much. I think they just said like, look, you broke the rules. We took the game down, fix it, get back to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
they certainly didn't
They
certainly didn't drop a bomb like Apple did.
Yeah, it all seems to be everything that Apple's doing, and Google just seems to be sitting there going, "Huh, cool."
Yeah, like I'm not getting into this. Like you guys can fight it out.
It's the escalation,
right?
100%. It's because they escalated it this high, this fast.
Yeah,
it's like, you know what? You're both idiots. Both companies are idiots.
Oh yeah,
but Apple maybe
put Metal Gear Rex away, like to do. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Maybe that's what Google's doing in the dark right there.
Like, exactly.
They're letting each other fight until one of them wins, and they'll take down the winner.
Right. Godzilla.gif. Yeah.
Apple's got Metal Gear Rex, whereas Google's over there in the background with Ray just sitting there going like, "We've got like 50 of these waiting to go, dude." So
really? Yeah. Last news story here: Deathloop has been delayed to 2021. That's a bummer, but that was supposed to be a launch window game for new consoles, and it won't be. But that's okay.
Correct you right there. It's a launch window game for the PlayStation. That is a console exclusive.
That sucks.
Yep.
Yeah. Bummer. Well, it's been delayed into 2021. Hopefully they don't crunch that whole time.
It's Ubisoft, I think, isn't it? No, it's Arcane.
It's Arcane Leon. Yeah.
Doing it.
Yeah. All right, but that's our episode because we're out of time here to talk about. We talked about Spiritfarer too much. Go play Spiritfarer. Go fire up your Game Pass app and go play. Check us out at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. Get audio. Help me pay for the show. Make me cry. All the high points there. We are playing the Sexy Brutale. For this recent game club, I think it's like 5-week month.
It's not one of those Steam games before you even look at it that way.
It's not one of those like adult mahjong games. But I think this is a 5-week month, so you've got plenty of time. I think how long to beat said this game is like 6 hours or so. So yeah, not super long. We should be hitting a new. We hit week 2 of a brand new game on We Rogue Like It for you patrons. This one is turning out to be much better than we were expecting.
I hate it.
Also on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it. Go listen to Critical Misses. Season 1 is chugging right along. Is motoring along on the public
Just
feed.
go away.
And you get 2-month early access over on Patreon. So go check that out. And we'll see you all next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
1 second. Nimp, hit me with your titles.
All right, I have a fairly short list this week.
Okay.
I have Punished Boston, British, The Puns Are Back, and High Lord Boston.
I really wish I could do italics for our titles because it would be British, like italics, non-italics.
You can
All right,
always
Moon.
use quotation marks or stars.
That's true. Stars might break the feed. I broke the feed one time because I used the correct notation for Pele's name, and that broke the feed.
Oh, the apostrophe above the E.
Yeah. The feed did not like that. It stopped publishing. That was bad. All right, Moon, how about your titles?
Punish Boston, Internet Logic, I Avoid Hot Drops, Third Party Them, Equally as Useless with Them All, probably a little bit long,
Yeah.
Military Teenagers, Fast Saga Fanfic, and Edith Finch Boat.
Fast Saga Fanfic. All right, I have Now You Can Craft. The Puns Are Back, Punished Boston, British, I Avoid Hot Drops, and Fast Saga Fanfic. I checked Punished Boston because that was on 2 of our lists.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else stand out?
I really like Fast Saga Fanfic.
I was just about to check that because I think that one's really strong. That might be my leader for this week.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Punished Boston.
Yeah, that one's
There's not enough Metal Gear references.
That's fair, especially MGS5.
I know, even after we just got off our whole big thing with Google and Apple.
Right.
You literally
In an
referenced
episode
Metal
full of them. You're all my diamonds. I kind of like Fast Saga Fanfic a little bit better because I think it sounds better. I think it sounds funnier to say.
Feel?
Yeah, has a better mouthfeel, and I think from a title perspective, it's one of those where it's like, what are they talking? Why would they talk about this? Like, what happened in this episode that this would happen?
What was it?
Fast
Saga Fanfic.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just fun to say. A lot of F's.
Completely out your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I've seen a movie or two.
Have you written your own fanfic?
No. I haven't done that for anything.
Okay. Well, you can write your fanfic about Dom, Smooch, and Brian any day now.
Write a fanfic about you two gushing over movies and playing games.
That's right. Patreon.com/UNM1. That's where it is.
Let's go. Let's go. So,
also, did you have to say gushing?
And it's called Crystal
Yeah.
Mist.
yeah, Moon will have to be pro import. Boston will be pro export, and we'll go
Pro
from there.
muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, out of the two of us, he's the import guy.
I probably would be the
I am
import guy.
100% the import guy, but if
Yeah.
we take everything overarching storyline, and I'm sorry, but Boston is the import guy.
That would probably be my nature.
We are literally writing our own fanfic.
Boston can be the import guy, and you can be the literal imported guy.
Hey-o. Fanfic opens with both of us driving our cars. We stop at the stoplight. I say, that one time in high school. I said, wait, is this just that scene from Fast 1? That was confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like Fast Saga.
A CRX,
Right.
and Moon's got a Mini Cooper.
That's right.
Fanfic is writing itself already.
Why a Mini Cooper? Why not a Jag? A Mini Cooper is my wife's car.
No, because
right.
I put Boston in a CRX. You can't be in a Jag. You got to start low and work high.
And now you just start bringing in like the Italian job, and it just starts getting real weird. So it sounds like Fast Saga Fanfic is our title this week.
I already blew through all my title stuff.
I just saved the one you like the most. All right, let me know when you guys are ready.
I think I'm ready.
I got nothing, dude.
Do you want a fanfic joke?
No. I was gonna make a really, really annoying internet voice.
You make a joke about.
Then Boston goes to space, and he drives up the side of a car.
You make a joke about the tunnels. That's a good one.
No, I got something.
Okay.
It's crap, but I got something.
That's all right. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 670 for August 24th, 2020. Fast Saga Fanfic.
Flip all the null switches.
Look forward to my fanfic, Fast Saga, import versus imported.
On that note, we're done. Thank you very much. Jimbo Jangles with the facepalm emoji in chat. Thank you. That's a perfect one.
1,000%.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. See you next week. Bye.